Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with anybody that might get something out of it. I guess we'll do a quick check-in, guys. You know what? This has been one of the best weeks I've ever had in my life. I got my 9-month chip this week. I did the first boiler job under my own company. I actually went and did I put a deck on a flat rubber roof on the third story of a building for a friend of mine today. Somebody else was doing the job. Literally just bullshitting the guy, milking the job, laid out the decking to make it look like it was done so he could collect a check, and then, and he got himself fired from the job. So I was asked to go in and save the day, and, this kid had been there for like a week, so I grabbed one guy, we went over there today, we banged out the whole thing in a day, sent my friend pictures, the owner down in Florida, and the guy's absolutely thrilled. And the difference is, I used to be on the other side of it, where when I was in addiction, I'd be the one out there bullshitting and trying to get a check. And you know what? It is so nice to be on the other side. But I literally just hung up the phone with him when I was trying to make my video. I just called to let me know how much he appreciates it. He loved the pictures, what a great job I did, how I went over and above. And then he actually let me know he just sent out an email to all his tenants. We have refrigerator magnets in all his apartments, and my name is under there for the plumbing and the heating. I guess he sent out an email letting everybody to erase the other two numbers and to call Pat from P. Kelly Services for any and all maintenance, plumbing, repair, emergencies, and then to email and let him know. Guys, my business and my life is expanding in all the most amazing ways. And again, it's not because I'm special. It's because I've aligned myself with God, my higher power. It's because I follow the spiritual principles of this program. Not just getting over drugs, but literally making myself the best version of me, a responsible, productive member of society, building my business. And guys, it's humbling. I get phone calls or texts like this almost daily lately. And guys, I made more money last week than yeah, it's the best week I've ever had in my life. And they just keep, I've said that so many times lately because they just keep getting better and better. All right, guys, we're going to go with the reading today. And I just wanted to share, guys, I want to encourage others why they should be doing this program to the best of their ability. Because that's the thing, guys, you get out what you put in. It's as simple as that. And there's so many amazing rewards waiting for all of us when we just step up. Just, do extra, do more, just be the best person you possibly can, guys. The just for today NA meditation reading is a good one today. Eyeglasses and attitudes. Our best thinking got us into trouble. Recovery is an active change in our ideas and attitudes. In active addiction, the world probably looked like a terrible place. Using helped us tolerate the world we saw. Today, however, we understand that the world's condition wasn't really the problem. It was our ideas and attitudes about the world that made it impossible for us to find a comfortable place in it. Our attitudes and ideas are the eyeglasses through which we see our lives. If our glasses are smudged or dirty, our lives look dim. If our attitudes aren't well focused, then the whole world appears distorted. To see the world clearly, we need to keep our attitudes and ideas clean, free of things like resentment, denial, self-pity, and closed-mindedness. To ensure our vision of life is in focus, we have to bring our ideas in line with reality. In addiction, our best thinking kept us from clearly seeing either the world or our part in it. Recovery serves to correct the prescription in our attitudinal eyewear. By stripping away our denial and replacing it with faith, self-honesty, humility, and responsibility, the steps help us see our lives in a whole new way. Then the steps help us keep our spiritual lenses clean, encouraging us to regularly examine our ideas, our attitudes, and our actions. Today, seen through the clean lenses of faith and recovery, the world looks like a warm, inviting place to live. And then the affirmation is, just for today, I will view the world and my life through clean spiritual lenses of my recovery program. Guys, isn't it amazing how all these things align? Like, I do these readings every day, and I'm able to apply and then see. And here's the thing: I take the lessons from yesterday and apply them today, and then I do the reading for today, and I see how that applied. Like, everything goes hand in hand, guys. And again, I love the fact that I started this YouTube channel because it's changed the person that I am. I'm not making money in the channel. Don't know that I ever will. It's steady gaining momentum, and that means the world to me. But I don't. I'm a laborer, guys. I'm I'm a mechanic, a plumber, heating. I mean, anything blue collar comes pretty natural to me because it's what I've been doing my whole life, and I enjoy that. I also love doing this because this is changing my world. This is changing my life, and that's the thing, guys. When I get into recovery this time around, when I get into rehab, I knew I needed to make changes, and I wasn't exactly sure how to get there. So what I did was I dropped to my knees and I prayed. I started meditating, trying to find the way. And the one answer that just kept screaming at me is start a YouTube, a faith-based recovery channel on YouTube. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't know what it was going to do. I didn't know what was going to come of it. I certainly knew that nothing was going to go viral because it's not funny. It's not, and that's okay. This is not a laughing matter. But what has happened, guys, is I've had to do a lot of research so I could understand what it is that I'm coming on here and talking about, and then I've had to apply them to my life. Because one thing about me is I can't sit there and get online and put these things on out to the world and not do them in my daily life. So what I've found is a fast track to spiritual principles in alignment with my higher power, God. I've found a conscious contact relationship, and I found miracles manifesting in my life at a rate that is shocking to myself and everybody that knows me and everybody that's watching what I'm doing. Guys, and I'm not the only one that can do this. Any of you can do this. What you've got to do is just buy in. Understand, like, the most important things early on are surrender, acknowledging, admitting, paying attention to what's going on in your life, and we all want better, right? Who doesn't? But are you willing to actually man up? Because it's going to be uncomfortable at times, guys, and it's been there for me. I've had to face decades of lying and decades, and how many times I've come into a situation and this time around, and here's the difference, guys. In the past, I'd see my previous lies and say, okay, well, how can I add this to this one and make this one look okay and come out with this? It doesn't work, right? And the most freeing and important, strongest, rewarding thing I've done was admitted. I said, okay, guys, excuse me, I'm sorry, but you know what? My entire life was a lie. If that's too much for you and you don't want anything to do with me, then that's fine, because I understand today everything in my life has got to be for my highest good. And if you're gonna use my and again, I've made amends and I've made up for it, and anywhere I've been wrong, I've promptly admitted it, and I've done whatever I could to make it right. So then after that, if you're gonna sit there and try and say, well, you used to do this, so you need to do this for me today, then no, you got to go. You can't have that in your life. You got to have the intestinal fortitude, the guts, guys. You got to be willing to let go of what doesn't serve you, right? And you got to be willing to accept your part. Because here's, guys, I've said this so many times, and it's so important. And this is a big lesson I had to learn, because I was always about, well, it's not my fault because this and this and this guy did this and that. You can focus on that, and there's truth in all of that. But it doesn't matter, because you can't fix any of that. And if you want to focus on any of that, you're going to stay in that victim mode, receiving the same bullshit, right? What I've done is every single time, and this is what all of us have to do, I've stopped and looked at, okay, well, what was my part in it? Before I regurgitated the same bullshit stories that I've been saying for years, I've stopped and said, well, let me honestly look at this instead of just the same bullshit victim mentality crap that I always spewed. Let me look at my honest part of it and figure out what got me there. What did I actually do there? Because if I'm lying to myself, I'm prone to repeat that same mistake over again. But when I've stopped and I've looked at the actual actions, the actual thoughts, the actual lies I tell myself, the excuses, the justification, the resentments that I had in any of these things, then I'm able to figure out where they come from, why I did it, and then I'm able to avoid doing it again. And that's what I've done, guys. That's how I've changed my life. I've stopped and actually cleaned the lenses that I see the world. Because I tell you what, the lenses I was looking at the world were a fucking kaleidoscope of bullshit. I literally had myself fooled into thinking that I had the worst luck in the world and that I was cursed and this. No, none of that's true. None of us are. Guys, I was doing illegal shit daily and getting caught for a small percentage of it, so I was actually incredibly lucky. But I was doing the totality of everything I was doing. There was no other possible scenario than for me to end up in the shitstorm that I did over and over again because of the way I looked at myself. I didn't hold any value for my life. I didn't believe I had any chance of success. I didn't think there was any chance I'd ever have any kind of stability. So therefore, I didn't take any actions that led to that. I went sideways for the quick, instant gratification in every situation, and then I'd piss through that and burn through that and dig a bigger hole, and then tomorrow I'd get up and I'd have to avoid 3 more people because I screwed them over yesterday. And then I wonder why I'd freak out every time the phone rang, and I was always stressed out, and I couldn't. Guys, like, people would try and come and talk to me, and I couldn't even hear them out because my just the frazzle that I felt from the drug addiction and from the bullshit and the avoiding this one. I'm worried about if I'm going to drive back to my apartment. Is my landlord in the office? Do I got to park around the corner so I don't see him? Guys, you gotta let that stuff go. And the thing of it is, guys, it's funny, when I came home this time, I was still at the old job, and I knew immediately, guys, because that's the thing. I started developing my relationship with God. I started doing the work. I started getting introspective, and I started to see the patterns in my life. And I knew immediately I had to get away from all this shit. And then I got out of rehab, and I had so much anxiety about going back to the job that I was working at, even though it paid, good money for a paycheck. And I was hugely in debt, and my landlord had held my apartment, and I owed him a ton of money, and he just wanted me to work and pay him off, rightfully so. And I didn't want to disappoint him because he'd been so good to me. He was the one person I'd started being honest with, and he was holding me down, and but I knew, like, I couldn't go back to that job, and that's the thing. So for once in my life, I took the leap of faith, and instead of doing what I would always do and lie to this one and hide this from this one, I called my friend Doug up and I said, "Listen, Doug, I came back. I took 4 days off to sign up for all my recovery process stuff that I have to, because that's got to be first. But I went back to work on Monday. I'm sorry, it was actually like a Wednesday. I got home on a Friday. It was the following Wednesday. I went back to work, and I was back, and I was with the boss for 2 hours, and he pulled up at the drug dealer's house. Like, I can't do it, dude. Like, I can't be around that stuff. And I tried to tough it out for the week, but every single day, every moment that I was at that job, it was just boom, boom, boom. This is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. I'm sneaking out of the job to go hit the Jeep and pray, because I'm forced to do all this craziness and lie to customers on his behalf, and like, I'm trying to live a better life, and so what I'm trying to say is, as you start doing better things, you'll notice where other areas, but you got to have the balls. And here's the guys, when I stood up and told my friend Doug, I said, "Doug, I can't do this." And you know what he did? Rather than saying, "You owe me this money, you got to work," he said, "Here, use my pickup truck, and then here, I'm going to sell you the pickup truck. You can do this work for me. I'm calling everybody in my contacts to see what work we can get for you." And a month later, I went and registered my business with the state. Now here we are. I was like maybe 2 months clean at that point. I got 9 months now, so 7 months later, now I've got all these new customers, all these new contacts. I got multiple bank accounts. I've got enough money that I was talking with my friend Doug today. We're going to start looking for, officially now, we're going to start looking for a 2-family house to buy together, put half down, because I have that much money saved up. And then when I get a little more established, when we're gonna split it, and then I can buy him out of it, and I'm gonna own a multi-million-dollar 2-family house, whether I choose to live in half or just rent out both halves. More than likely rent, because it'll be bigger than my apartment. As long as the income from the unit is higher than what I'm paying to live here, I'll stay here and collect that. And then when I buy him out of that, I'll have equity in that one to buy a second one. Guys, like, these are just because I had the guts to be honest when I thought I was going to hammer me for it. But for once in my life, I understood that I had to try. I had to trust God, and every intuitive thought that came into my brain was for my higher good. And if I was honest, like, and here's the guys, I thought I was just, if I was honest, maybe I wouldn't get slammed for something. And every time I was honest, not only did I not get slammed for it, but I was offered something, an opportunity to have faith in myself to step up and do something that was out of my comfort zone, and I've gotten massive rewards for it, guys. Like, I don't even know how to fully express how miraculous every situation in my life. If you go back, if you've been rocking with me for a while, if you go back and watch the the progression of my videos. Those who have know the totality of them, like little people that have seen me and know me throughout this 9 month stretch, or even for a few months before that, are absolutely shocked of what is capable, and not saying what I'm capable, but what God will do for you in your life if you take the alignment, you take the actions. I go out of my way to help others. Anybody that's referred to me, whether through the channel, through my AA group, through my TikTok, anybody that reaches out, says, hey, can you speak to this person? Can you guide this person? I do so freely and willingly. Guys, I'm tired. I'm like, my days are busy. I'm running. I'm doing a lot these days. I'm not saying that to be cool, but I'm saying I could easily be justified in saying, no, I don't have time. I need some more time. But anything that's recovery or faith-based, I dive in and I give that my priority because it's given me so much. It will do the same for you. Everybody's path is going to be different. But if you follow these spiritual principles, if you apply them in your life to the very best of your ability, if you literally take the time to look at every action, every thought, and guys, it was uncomfortable at first. I literally had come to a conclusion that my every thought, my every instinct was broken, was wrong. So in the early days, literally, guys, I would stop. As soon as I went up, nope, I would stop myself and say, stop, look, think. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? I don't know. I don't know how to do the right thing. Well, I'll do the opposite of my initial instinct. And I did that, guys. As long as I knew it was in the direction of honesty. And guys, it's rewarded me in ways I can't believe. I look at life in a way. I was working with my buddy Jimmy today, and we're talking, and he was like, Pat, he was somebody that works for me now that I used to work with, and I take him on when I need help. And he's like, dude, I watched the work you do today. It's shocking, the clarity that God has given me, the way I've found confidence in myself, because I understand now the skills I have are God given, and they're here to be put to use, not to be shy about. And again, and I go out and I give people incredible deals. Guys, it's just the totality of everything, guys. Because I literally made sobriety my superpower, and I'm upfront and honest with everybody. And it's like so many times, my buddy Jimmy or other people know, I'm like, dude, you just throw that out there with anybody. Well, I don't, if I feel it's uncomfortable, but like it's pretty glaringly obvious, guys. People that knew me then and knew me now, I'm 60 pounds heavier. I have teeth in my mouth. I don't have growths in my face. My eyes aren't all sunk into my head. I literally look 10 years younger. Like either I had cancer and beat it, or I had HIV and beat it, or I was a raging heroin addict and I'm no longer. Like it's glaringly obvious I'm not the person that I was. And when I see these people that knew me then, and they see me now, like they all want to know, like, what are you doing? And I just tell them, guys, I'm sorry. I was in a car accident, 15 years ago, and I got on the opiates and I got stuck, and I was battling addiction all that time, and now I've gotten clean and I'm rebuilding my life, and then I tell them about my YouTube and tell them that I share my story, and guys, the people, because I deal with some property owners that are worth a lot of money, $20-30 million, and some of them, people, oh, they're so uppity. No, every single one of them knows somebody that's battled with addiction or alcoholism, or has lost somebody to the disease of addiction, and they all relate with it, and they all appreciate it. And at the end of the day, they're more apt to want to give me work because they see I'm trying to be part of the solution rather than perpetuating the problem. Guys, it's not always comfortable, and it's not always the easy road, but you know what? It's the right road. It's the true road. It's the honest road, and I'm trying to look at my life through the clearest lenses possible. And the funny thing is, guys, I think I'm by far the best version of me today that it's ever walked the face of the earth. But I know full well that if I continue to do these readings and apply these lessons and look to see how I can improve, that 9 more months from now, I'm gonna look back at this and go, wow, I had so much to learn, and I'm so much better off now. And then 9 months after that, I can say the same, and I'm gonna just be in a better and better place. I know that because God loves me, and I love God, and God loves you, and I love you. So I think we'll leave the video with that today, guys. It's getting a little bit long because I'm passionate about these things, guys, and I want everybody to understand. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. The channel has got a huge uptick, just like everything else in my life. Things get better and better, but the viewing has been way up, and it means the world to me. Thank you so much for taking the time to hear me out. I hope you will apply these lessons. I've also said, guys, please feel free to reach out. I list my email, and you can leave a comment. And if there's anybody I can help that's struggling, that's literally what I'm here for, guys. It's my life's mission. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.